Something strange happened to the job market over the last 20 years. Millions of people were told to apply for jobs online, but nobody explained that most applications get filtered out by software before a human even sees them. Nobody really talks about how getting a job works anymore. You're told to make a resume, apply online, and wait. So you do, over and over. And then nothing. No rejection, no feedback, just silence. If that's happening to you, it doesn't automatically mean you're doing something wrong. It just means you're interacting with a system that works very differently than people think it does. So let's talk about what's actually happening. A lot of the advice people give about finding a job isn't wrong, it's just outdated. Not that long ago, applying for a job meant a human being actually saw your resume. Maybe they called, maybe they didn't, but they saw it. So when someone says, just keep applying, they're not trying to mislead you. They're just using a map from a city that got rebuilt. But the modern hiring process works very differently. Most job applications today go through something called an applicant tracking system. Think of it like a sorting machine. Your resume doesn't go directly to a hiring manager. It ends up in a digital pile with hundreds, sometimes thousands of others. Before a human ever sees it, software scans it for signals like keywords from the job description, experience related to the role, and formatting the software can understand. If enough of those are missing, the resume never reaches a person. Not reviewed, not rejected, just quietly filtered out. That silence people experience, most of the time it's not judgment, it's automation. And this is where the process becomes emotionally dangerous. Because from your perspective, here's what's happening. You do everything you're told to do, you apply everywhere, and nothing happens. So your brain tries to explain the silence. And the explanation it usually lands on is, I must not be good enough. That conclusion seems logical, but it's often wrong. What's really happening is more like standing in a crowded room and speaking in the wrong direction. People aren't ignoring you, they just didn't hear you. And that leads to the next problem. A lot of people respond to this by applying to as many jobs as possible. 100 applications, 200 applications. It feels productive, but most of those applications are mismatches. Wrong keywords, wrong focus, wrong signals. It used to be a numbers game, but today job searches is more of a targeting game. 10 focused applications often outperform 100 generic ones. A few small shifts tend to make a big difference. First, read the job description closely. If certain words keep appearing, they're important. Your resume should reflect the language of the role you're applying for. Second, your resume isn't meant to tell your whole life story. It's more of a highlight reel for the role you're applying for. Different role, different version of your resume. Third, networking. It has a terrible reputation, but in practice it's actually quite simple. Letting people know what you're interested in and what you're capable of doing. A surprising number of jobs still move through conversation and connection, not just application. The important thing to remember is this: not hearing back doesn't automatically mean you're failing. It usually means the system itself is noisy, automated, and poorly explained. Job searching is a skill, and nobody is born knowing how to do it. And it's especially confusing when the rules change and nobody announces it. So if this process feels frustrating, exhausting, or unfair, that reaction is completely reasonable. If you're in the middle of this right now, pause before assuming the problem is you. You're not broken. You're learning to navigate a system that operates on clear signals more than effort alone. Once you understand that, the silence starts to make more sense. And something makes sense, it's easier to work with. In the next video, we'll have a look at what those resume filters are actually scanning for. I'm Chris. Welcome to the Missing Manual. Chaos is temporary.